sir.
Hi,
Nice to meet
how can I
you.
help you?
We are looking to talk to one of your students.
Okay, can I ask who you're asking to speak to?
I'm sorry?
Can I ask who you're asking to speak to?
Sure, yeah.
It's
Okay.
Broadway.
Okay, can you just hang out here for 1 second?
Well,
Well-
hold on, sir. You're going to have to follow me. Hey, how are you? Sorry, sir.
Hey, how are you?
Good. We got to talk to a student here. We're pretty sure he's here, but
Oh yeah, what's going on?
this is one question about you.
Okay, so basically, I can't let you guys come in and pick him from the school. I can let him know that you're here, and then I can ask him if he wants to talk to you.
Wow, what we just witnessed is how school should be for every student everywhere in this country. Here's what people might not believe. Police officers have not always had the right to just walk up in and barge into schools or anywhere they wanted to.
That's just our policy.
No,
Of, you know what I mean? Like in terms of, like so I can let him know, and then what I would say to him is, what I'll message to him is, you're just going to take care of these things sooner or later. You're just going to be, so.
You're confirming he's here, but you can't bring him to us? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not confirming or denying he's here. I'm just saying it's our policy that we wouldn't bring a student to you guys.
It's also true that police officers haven't always had a presence in schools. This principle showed up in a way for the student or just for everybody who's watching or that will attend or already attend this school in a way that every principal and teacher should show up. The idea that you can allow the principal or allow police officers just to come to your school and create disruption just because they have on badges is a misnomer. You don't have to. What we've seen over the years is more and more law enforcement and security and sheriff deputies, school resource officers in schools. And what we've seen more and more of is the criminalization of kids, particularly Black and brown kids. So this principal showing up in the way he did protected a kid in a way that was probably going to turn extremely horrible. How do you know that, Mondale? Well, let me tell you. All you got to do is pay attention to these officers' demeanor. The first officer, the one that's on camera, is physically angry at this principal for rejecting him and access to his school, to his students that he's responsible for, talking about the principal.
I get it. I mean, trust me, I get it. I'm just saying that, whatever the circumstance, that's always the way that we do it.
Do you have kids?
Yeah, so I'm not going to talk about my kids. I'm not going to talk about.
So if he shot at your kids, though, do you have the same policy?
So I'm just going to say that that's our policy. Sure, you guys.
Could you go
You know
see
what I
if
mean?
he'll come down and talk to us?
Yeah, I mean, I'll see. I don't even know if he's in the building, to be honest with you.
Well, that other teacher pretty much implied that he's here. So
I don't know if he's here. So.
I can go with you if you want, but it's
No,
up to
that's
you.
okay.
But the second officer begins to ask this principal if he has kids of himself. And then he says something that's extremely telling. He had already made up his mind that this person did the shooting. They were there supposedly to question him about his shooting. But this officer already said the student was responsible for the shooting because his response to the principal was, do you have kids? If he shot at your kids, would that be your policies? There was never going to be an equal investigation. Already, this officer was going to treat that kid like a criminal. He had already convinced himself. No trial, no jury, no evidence from this defendant to defend himself. But this officer had already made him guilty. This is why we see when officers are in school, the school to prison pipeline is increased. Students are criminalized more when we have officers, and there's no research, none, that show that officers in school make schools safer. So let's cut this chain, this link out of the chain of the school to prison pipeline and get more officers out of school, get more principals and teachers to show up like this gentleman did. Thumbs up for him, and those officers with their sneakiness didn't work. Thank God. I'm Mondale Robinson. Have a wonderful evening, but not before you think about it. Peace.